All right, last video of the evening. 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com, Jeeps Unlimited. Jeremy here. 03 to 06, 6-cylinder, grade A. Perfect example. I got some oxidation here, got a little bit of surface here, very minor, basically right through the paint, and then just that top. Not any kind of flaking or integrity of the metal lost. I always like just to point the bad out. It's not really bad in this particular one. This is a beautiful frame. Just something to keep in mind on all of our frames. I've been doing this for 21 years. It's not a fly-by-night company. You can look us up. I would highly recommend that. Don't just trust what I say. Go out and do your own due diligence. With that said, we measure every frame that we get. And the reason is, even though we buy, like I said earlier in this other video I did earlier for that tub, out of the 200 to 300 Jeeps we buy a year, I would literally bet that less than 2% of those come in wrecked. And usually it's locals that wreck them and they come in. But we don't even mess with the junk auctions. We always run Carfax just to see, because even though it looks like it's peachy, there was one this other day we were doing a hardtop on for a guy. And that Jeep had clearly been rolled. You would never have guessed until we put the hardtop on and go, oh, something's wrong. So it's important to do your due diligence. And then on top of that, we always measure them. And then the other reason we run Carfax, we want to make sure they've never spent any time in the Midwest or East Coast, even though most of these are going to head out that way after we're done with them. But we don't want, because those frames, you know it, they just don't last a long time. So, and then last but not least, we scope everything, because even though they look great on the outside, you never know what they look like on the inside. So it's important. And there really is a couple ways you can do that. We run a rod almost all the way through them from one end to the other, but because of the bends and the lighting and whatnot, there's usually two places we like to go in. The main area these like to rust out is these back, what they call these hump areas here, horned area, whatever you want to call them. And that's the place that loves to rust the worst. They don't rust as bad on the front, although they can, but the back is definitely the area that they seem to rust out the worst on. One thing I want to point out, even with a couple areas that you're seeing some either browning for oxidation or even this, and look at how this is still real smooth. I mean, like I said, you might get a little bit of rough. This is a wire wheel. This is not even a media. It's not even warranting a media blast haul. I know a lot of people are going to do that anyway, but I just want to make sure that when you see this frame, you understand exactly what it is and how clean it is. And really, all that black paint that you see on here, I mean, this is really one of our biggest, and it's almost every frame we get is like this. That all that black paint, that's not paint we painted on this thing. This is original factory paint. And to say that Jeep, which is probably what, 25, 30 years old, it still has almost, I would say at least 90% of the black paint that it freaking was painted with on the assembly line, we're on the disassembly line, is pretty remarkable. So, okay, so really nothing to show on these things. It's just kind of to show you your frame. If you were to buy this frame, this is the frame you would receive. We do not do one size fits all. Show you one and then send you a different one. This is the frame you will get, okay? If you buy this particular one. With that said, let's see what else. Yeah, so with that said, that's it. There's really nothing else to show on them, but I do like to flip them over. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. The point of these videos, as you probably know, you're buying this thing, you're probably thousands of miles away from me, or overseas even. And I want you to feel like you're standing right next to me. I want you to look at this and go, yes, I felt like I was right there. My wife is calling me. It is Mother's Day today, so I am going to have to go here in a minute. This is not going to be as long as I thought I could be on this, but it is an important day. Oh, man, I'm getting tired. I've been doing this all weekend. All right. So, they're not all that heavy. They weigh a couple 100 pounds. I did that by myself. It is easier with two people to unload them, or forklifts, loading docks, tractors, neighbors, pretty much anything. Okay, look at the bolt holes here. They're at great shape. Anything that you're seeing there at all, even the pitting, most of that's coming off of the cross member. There's a little bit of light surface there, but not much. There's nothing layered there at all, okay? And nothing thinned out. Those are in great shape. All the holes are in good shape. Look at your mount points. These go up to your tub, okay? They're not all wallowed out, all oblonged or anything else, and that happens a lot, especially on the Midwest. And I like to pull the little plastic guards and the spacers and everything. I want you to see those coil spring buckets, because those love to rust out. and those are in great shape. That usually that cross member, even the shock tower, which there's a T-bar eliminator, I would highly recommend anyway. But look at the bolts aren't broken. Those always break. Even clean rust-free frames, those like to break, and those are in great shape on this frame. So again, this is the 03 to 06 6-cylinder frame. You can use it on a 4-cylinder, but you'll have to move the motor mounts. And if you want to use this one on a 9702, that's even easier, but just need to let us know that going into it, and I can tell you what you'll need or what we can send you. Okay. All right, that's it. I get some more photos of it, and I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna call my wife here shortly before I get in the doghouse. We have a pretty good day already. I went down for a nap, and I came down to do some extra work. So we do have a trip coming up here in a couple weeks, so definitely try to get on that before the summer comes, because we won't have another trip until the fall, if that, and that really depends on inventory. This season, which is almost over for us, our busy season, we were swamped. We had literally no frames and no tubs to offer. It was just mayhem because they're getting so hard to get clean. So definitely keep that in mind if you're in the market for one and you happen to like this one. Don't wait. Even if you don't need it, we have the acreage. We can store it for you until you do need it. But buy these while you can, because I tell you what, TJs are starting to be worth more whole than they are parted, and that's really the biggest driving force of them not coming into yards very often. Okay, again, Jeremy here, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com, Jeeps Unlimited USA LLC, that's our parent company. And happy Mother's Day to my mom, to my wife, and to all the other mothers out there I've never met. You guys brought us into this world. We appreciate it greatly. All right, guys, thanks. Bye.